Okay, so who doesn't love a spinach artichoke dip? You know, I know, it's like, yeah, me. I mean, what's not to love about it? Cheese and spinach and artichokes, usually in a wonderful creamy mayonnaise kind of concoction, and there's lots of different recipes for it. I've got one in my cookbook that's just delicious, and sometimes when I see it out at a restaurant, you just have to order it. So I thought, how can we turn, really, I think America's all-time favorite warm, comfy, cozy dip into a casserole? And I thought, I can do this, I can. So I got to work on this recipe, and I think that, I know you're gonna love it. If you like spinach artichoke dip, I mean, there's nothing not to love about this casserole. We're gonna add a little chicken in it, so basically it's the whole meal. So you know me, I love my cream of whatever soups, especially in my casserole, but I like to really add a lot of flavor, and that's why I really think they work. We're gonna jazz this recipe up though, so that it doesn't taste like cream of, happen to be using 2 cans of cream of chicken soup in this recipe. So, and most of my casseroles, in fact all of them, instead of using the 1 can of soup that we grew up with, we've just kind of kicked things up a notch and added more flavor. So most of my recipes, you're going to see my casserole recipes call for 2 cans, so that we're getting some extra flavor. So 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And I'm always coming up with new, wonderful, kind of upscale casserole recipes that you can serve at your dinner party. Or just to really wow your family. Okay. So got the soup out of the cans there, and then we'll wash and recycle those. Okay, now we're going to jazz this up so that it doesn't taste like canned cream of chicken soup. And we're going to do that with a little bit of dry white wine, about a half a cup. I like a nice creamy casserole. I think that's why sometimes casseroles can get a bad rap, is that they're really dried out. So you'll notice also that a lot of my casserole recipes call for a little extra liquid than you normally would see. And that's because then when we bake them, that liquid disappears and you're left with a really nice creamy casserole, not like a dry as a desert casserole. So we've got dry white wine, like a Chardonnay or a Pinot Grigio. It doesn't have to be something real expensive. Some chicken stock, about a half a cup of that. Parmesan cheese, about a quarter of a cup of that. Black pepper. Mayonnaise. Now we're using 1 cup of mayo, and this is the real deal, not the salad dressing, not the sweet stuff. And that's normally what you'll find in spinach artichoke dip, that just makes it rich and yummy and brings it all together. All right, so I'm going to whisk all these ingredients together. Again, 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, mayonnaise, black pepper, quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, dry white wine, and a little bit of chicken stock. I'm going to do a little bit more. I can just tell it needs to be a little creamier. That's why I love this box chicken stock, because you can just kind of add a little more and then put the lid on it and get it back in the fridge. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and that really works well with the spinach and artichoke that we're using and the chicken. Just going to add some nice freshness. So I'll whisk that in there. And I'm all about easy, so this is real easy to throw together. Now I've got 3 to 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that we've just cooked and either cubed or shredded. I'm a big believer in, like Sundays, if I'm grilling chicken, grill a few extra pieces and then turn it into a casserole like this. Cook once and get a few different meals out of it. I'm a huge believer of that. So, if you're cooking chicken for the family, cook a few extra pieces and turn it into a casserole. Just makes life so much easier. A few cloves of garlic that I'm just going to use the back of my knife and give it a rough chop. So this is going to have a lot of great flavor. And this, we're using those flavors that you find in the spinach artichoke dip. Just adding the chicken so we can make it a whole meal. I do want to chop this up pretty well so that we don't get a big chunk of garlic when we bite into this casserole. And if you have any good, easy ideas when it comes to entertaining or some really nice casserole recipes, I'm always loving hearing from you and love getting your great recipes. So please go to our website and share. Okay, now you're saying, where's the spinach and artichokes? Well, right now, we're going to add those. First of all, we've got 1 box of chopped frozen spinach, and it's real important when you get that. We don't need to cook it, but it's after it thaws out, so you can thaw it in the microwave for maybe 15 to, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Just kind of keep checking it. You just don't want to cook it. Or you can just pull it out on the counter and it'll thaw out probably in about, an hour or so. But it's filled with liquid. We want to get rid of that liquid. So open the box, and then I'm going to come over here. I've got a colander here, and I just want to squeeze that dry so that we just get the spinach and not all the moisture in there. All right, so really get in there and squeeze that spinach. Now we can add that into our big bowl. And you notice I've got the biggest bowl going here. And whenever I put together a casserole, I love a big bowl like this so that the whole kitchen isn't wearing the casserole. That way you can really kind of get in there. And now I've got 2 cans of artichoke hearts. I'm using the cans, not the marinated ones. These are just the water-packed artichoke hearts that are quartered already for me, but I want to drain the liquid from those cans. I don't want any of that going in my casserole. So again, I'm going to just use the same colander. Don't need to wash that we did our spinach in. Sometimes I'll even give them a rinse so that they taste like artichokes and not like the juice that's in there. So let's kind of go ahead and give those a rinse and get rid of that liquid. And they're already quartered for me already, so kind of get them in there. It's starting to smell really good. I just got to take a quick peek. Oh yeah, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, now I'm just going to mix that all together. And I think we need some more cheese. What about you? So I've got about a cup of shredded lamers. We love lamers made locally here. Or I should say, this is the Springside, I should say, Springside mozzarella cheese. We use lamers milk, but we also now use Springside cheese in our recipes. And a lot of times when you get spinach and artichoke dip, they'll have mozzarella cheese in it, so I thought we got to throw some more cheese, not just the Parmesan in here. Okay. Now, I'm going to spray this casserole dish with some cooking spray just so we aren't spending hours and hours cleaning that dish after we're done. That's no fun. Okay, so now we're going to get all this in here. And this is a pretty quick bake because really everything's cooked. Our chicken is cooked. It's going to take about 45 minutes. So again, you can have this all done in the refrigerator and then bake it off before company gets now. Now do remember, when you do make ahead and refrigerate a casserole, because it's coming ice cold out of the refrigerator, it's going to take a little longer to bake, so keep that in mind. Now we're not done yet. Okay, when you have spinach artichoke dip, you've got some, usually French bread or some sort of chip or something like that to basically, dip in. Okay, instead of that, I've got some garlic crushed croutons that we're going to put on top. Because you know me, you got to have not only cheese on top of our casserole, but usually some sort of crunchy. So we're going to do some more, the remaining quarter cup of Parmesan cheese right on top of the casserole. So it's going to get nice and golden on top. And then just using some crushed croutons, garlic butter croutons. Save those, you know, kind of the ends of the bags of croutons. Those are great for casseroles. And they don't have to be completely crushed. I like them a little bit, you know, kind of partially crushed. And then I like to cover this with foil and bake at 350 for about 35 minutes, 25 to 35 minutes, and uncover and bake another 15 to 20 minutes, just until it's bubbly and golden. That's what you're looking for. Golden on top and the casserole is bubbly. So come with me. This is going to be so good. It smells amazing. And something a little different. A new casserole recipe for your recipe box. And there you go. My spinach artichoke chicken casserole. Recipe's on the website. You can also pick it up at any area of Festival Foods. Looks delicious.